coming from the Yortzeit of the Arizal. Arizal is called the Ari Achai. What does it mean, Ari Achai? Because our sages say, Toiv Kelev Hachai Me'ari Ames. Better the dog that's alive than the lion that's dead. So the Eden say that the Arizal, he's alive. He's the lion that's alive. So your site was before Shabbos, a Hayov. Erev Shabbos. In Tzvas, in the days of the Arizal, was a city full of
thousands of
tzaddikim.
My sister went there. My sister, my brother.
Yeah, very nice.
Thousands waiting in the line.
Yeah. So the Arizal once asked the Talmidim if they want to go for a kivrei tzaddikim. If a list of tzaddikim, they want to go. I said, sure. And afterwards we'll have a Sudas mitzvah. But he said that he would like that they should go ask. There was a Talmud Chochem, Rabbi Avram Galanti. I would like you should go invite him. But I suspect that he's going to be Makabel Tainus B'Shas HaMincha today. So he'll be fasting tomorrow. He knew. So he said, you go run to his house before he davens Mincha and ask him if he will join us tomorrow for the trip or the Kivrei Tzadikim and the Sudas Mitzvah. And they came to the house of Rebbe Avram. He was about to Mincha. They said, our Rebbe asked if you will join us for a tour of the Kivrei Tzadikim and you'll come for Sudas Mitzvah. Why are you coming now? He said, because we wanted to catch you before Mincha when you're going to accept the fast. He said, no, I wasn't going to accept any fast. Because we know from the Yerushalmi, we learned it the other day, brought in the Shulchan Aruch, and Siman Tav Kuf Samach Gimel, that when you fast for tshuva, for a special reason, you shouldn't publicize it. If you're publicizing it, might as well not fast. That's what the Yerushalmi says. It's a special thing. It's between you and Hashem Yisborah. It's not something to make. Okay, so but they knew that Izal knows what he's talking about. And Rabbi Avram agreed to come, and the next day they went to Kivrei Tzadikim. They sat down in the field, and the Izal started to darshan, and the Talmidim, they saw the light, and Rabbi Avram at the end of the drush says, I have 22 questions.
How many?
22 questions. So says that Izal, finally someone asks a question. You guys are always shaking your head and you agree to everything I say. Finally, someone's asking a question. So he asked his first question and a second question. 22 questions to rip to shreds everything that Izal said. And Izal asked him at the end if he wouldn't mind to think over a certain Maimer HaZoyar. Obviously, Rabbi Avram knew the Zoyar. He knew it Be'ez Yosef. He knew every letter of the Zoyar, like we know Ashrei. So he went through a shtickle Zoyar and he was saying it slowly, like that is the last. And he said, one of the kashas is for Enfit. And he kept on saying it in his mind. Another question is answered. And as he keeps on going through the Zoyar, at the end, all 22 questions were answered. So he walked over to Arizal and said, I want to be your student. So that Arizal says, accepted. He asked Arizal if he could look in his forehead, tell him, what does he see? What kind of sins does he have?
He asked the Arizal?
Yeah, the Rabbi Avram asked Arizal. So the Arizal said, and if I tell you, are you willing to accept whatever tshuva I accept that I place upon you? Avram said, Dalet Mrs. Bezdin, Skilas, Reifa, Herek, Chenek, everything you give me.
Wow.
So I see that you're learning Torah day and night, but you're fasting too much and that disturbs your learning Torah. I want you every day to eat meat, and I want you to learn Torah with more asmoda, with the koyach of this meat that you eat every day. So Rabbi Avram accepted upon himself, and he asked tomorrow that he's going to start the new thing from the Arizal. Tomorrow he's going to make a Sudas Mitzvah in his house, and the Arizal said he will come. So when he came back to Tzfas and he told his brother was a merchant. So the brother came to the Sudas Mitzvah. And he came over to Arizal. He says, I hear you could read people's foreheads. So what do you see in my forehead? Arizal said, Gneva. Hi. He went home and he started to cry. Aganav! Arizal sees on his forehead. He's Aganav. He took all his money. He piled it onto the table. He asked one of the workers to go to his factory, bring all the. They had a couple of seamstress. He was put clothing, shmatas. He had everyone to come, and he started to cry to his workers. He said, "Are we cheating anyone in the business?" They said, "No, we're not cheating anyone." Did I cheat any of you? If I cheat any of you, here's all my money. Take what you think I cheated you. No one said a word. One lady walked over to the table and took 2 coins and walked home. So he went back to that Arizal, and as soon as he walked in, that Arizal said, "Yes, you've done tshuva. And you should know this woman has children at home. And when she works overtime and you pay your workers, in her heart she feels that you're not paying her right. Because since she has little children at home, she deserves to get paid extra when she stays extra time. And she doesn't feel that she has the right to come over to you and demand. But in her heart, she always had a taina against you. But when she walked over and she took the 2 coins and she went home, she felt good. So she had no more tainas against you. So the gzela is wiped away. So could you imagine? We think it's all on the forehead. It's all written on our foreheads. And here you think a person was running a business that he was with such integrity, but there was a woman that had a tainus. She had a tainus.
They said that the Baba Sali, Zecher Tzodik Yivachar, they also congregated was 2 yeshiva boys, young boys. They said, let's make fun of him. They put a casket head and they went to his house. Like, it's down here, you cannot see anything. So you open the door and he starts screaming and then, get out of my house! Wow. They turn around, a truck came over, ran over both of them. One got killed on the spot, and one they took to the hospital for 6 years. He was in the hospital. After 6 years, this yeshiva boy told himself, I want to go to the Baba Sali to see what happened. Why he screamed at us? So he went over to him. Baba Sali saw him, said, come on, hey, I was waiting for you. So tell him, what happened that day that I came with my friend? He said, I saw on your head that both of you has a decree to die. And I know if somebody embarrassed someone, like I killed them. So I want to embarrass both of you, and I scream at you. Your friend that got killed, he was taking it very lightly. You took it very seriously. This way you stay alive. So this boy is still living in Israel. This was like 30 years ago, 35 years ago. He's still living and married with kids now. And he's telling the story all over. Wow. So in our days, we still have big rabbi like this. Yeah, I mean, not in our days, but... Sorry.
2 mitzvahs in this parsha. The mitzvah of Kriyishma and the mitzvah of learning Torah. And in fact, they're in the same pasuk. Right? V'ahavta es Hashem Elokecha. We say that this has to be b'shivtecha b'veisecha v'alachtecha v'derech v'shavcha uvkomecha. B'shivtecha b'veisecha v'alachtecha v'derech means that you have to learn Torah. Dibar tabam, you have to talk the words of Torah. B'shivtecha b'veisecha v'alachtecha v'derech. In the house, when you're on the road, always you have to learn Torah. When you go to sleep, when you wake up, what does that mean? You have to say Shema when you go to sleep, when you wake up, right? So it's in the same pasuk, but the 2 mitzvahs, the mitzvah of learning Torah and the mitzvah Shema, even though they're very much related, we say if a person didn't learn any Torah, but he was busy, it wasn't his fault, but he said Shema in the morning, Shema at night, it was Mekayim, the mitzvah of Agisa B'Yom V'Layla. It wasn't a person's fault. They were very busy, but they said Shema. It's as if they learned Torah that way. On the other hand, that when a person learns Torah, it's called Shinun. It's connected to Shema. So there is a relationship between Shema and Torah. It's written in the same pasuk. However, it's different because Shema. Every time you say Shema, it's like a separate mitzvah. You say a bracha every time, right? When we say Shema, we say the brachas before and after. we say 7 brachas around Shema. In the morning we say Shnaim Lefeh, Vachas Lefereh. At night Shnaim Lefanav, Shnaim Lachareh. At night we say 2 brachas before, 2 after. In the morning 2 before, 1 after. What we're saying, Torah, you don't make a separate bracha. A person that has a whole issue, a person has Hesach Hadas, but you make a bracha once a day. Why is it that way? Torah also has a difference of day and night. The Gemara says that how did Ema say Yod Moshe, Ema say Yom, Ema say Laila, Shesha Kachbar Chanan Mikro, Yodeshu Yom, Shesha Malan Mishra, Yodeshu Laila. So when you were learning the Mikra and Mishnah, there was a separate times. One was a day, one by night. Mikra was by Yom and was day, and Mishnah was night. So also learning when as we say that Lo Yivre Laila Lagir, the night is made to learn. Why? At day there's hustle, bustle. Night it's quiet. The world gets quiet. You can open up a sefer. You take a coffee, you open a sefer, and you sit and learn, and your head is working. It's not racing, it's working. Things are going in. So there's difference of day and there's difference of night. Why is it that Shema, there's a whole discussion of Shema. It's 2 mitzvahs, 1 mitzvah, even if it's 1 mitzvah, but it's 2 parts to the mitzvah, and we make 2 separate brachas in it. It's a separate thing. There's Krishma Shashachris, Krishma Shalarvis, the 2 separate mitzvahs, 2 separate brachas. Totally. Why is it Torah is like one continuous thing, and Krishma is a separate? We say B'Shar B'Cha is 1 mitzvah, Kamecha is a separate mitzvah. This is one set of brachas, another set of brachas. Why? So the Rebbe says like this: difference of Torah and mitzvahs. In general, a person's you can look at it the way it's in the world, the way it's in the person that's doing the mitzvahs, and the way in the godly light that he's bringing into the world. If you're talking about the world, so you say Yom Mafsakim Adodi. Days are like units. There's just like there's a different country, there's a border. There's a Yom Yom Echad. That's a unit of time. A day, a Yom and a Laila is a unit of time. The point of the Dira B'Tachtonim is that we should bring a godly light. It shouldn't be like helicopter around the world, on top of the world. It should go into the world. It's not to destroy the world, but bring it into the world. The world should stay a world, and it should feel that there's a Ribbon Shalom. So, how do we do that? By the world has Erev, Vayivoika, Yom Echad. We connect, because basically what we're doing is every morning and every night we declare that what we see around the world is Eibishter. We're making the Eibishter the king in heaven and earth. The Erev Vayivoiker, we connect the Erev and the Boiker, should be all unity. Yom Echad, like the Gemara says when we say Shema Yisrael Hashem Ekein Hashem Echad, we think of Aleph means the one God, Ches is the 7 heavens and the earth, and also all 4 sides of the world, that everything is imbued with the Eibishter. Echad, and the Chassidus says Echad is bigger than Yochid. Yochid means unique. It's aloof, it's not connected to the world. If there was a world, we don't see the uniqueness. But in Echad we're saying there is 7 heavens, and there is an earth, and there is east, there is west, there is north, there is south, and still we see the Eibishter in every part of the world. So that's the inyan of Shema, is to bring him into all 4 corners of the world, into all the heavens and to earth. So therefore there is Yom, there's Laila, there's a separate thing. Because the world, that's what the world is made of. It's fragmented. That the world is made of pieces in time and in space. There's different pieces. We want to bring the Kedusha into every piece, into Yom, into Laila. Torah is higher than the world. Torah, we said, is like Kol Dvorei Ke'esh. Torah is fire. So, therefore, Torah doesn't, day and night, it makes no difference. It's all one, it makes no difference. It's not the mitzvahs, and especially mitzvahs Krishma, is where we're bringing godliness into the world. There's Yom, there's Laila, the 7 heavens, there's earth, there's 4 corners of the world. Torah is higher than the world. We learned the Shabbos, a beautiful mimer, that's why in Torah you could learn about the Beis HaMikdash, you could learn about the Korbanos, as if you're bringing now the Korbanos. Mitzvah is not that way. If you're in the right time and right space, you're doing the mitzvah. If you say Krishma after Alois HaShachar, or better yet, close to Netzach Hama, and you do it within the 3-hour frame until 3 hours into the day, you did the mitzvah reading Shema. If you said it before Alois HaShachar, or you said Shema after 3 hours in the day, they said, why to 3 hours a day? Because the kings, they sleep in late. People have to go work, they wake up early in the morning. I gotta go to Manhattan, have to catch a train, especially now the trains are not reliable. So they get up extra early, they have to go to work. But the king doesn't have to go to work, he charges taxes, he lives on other people's back. So he wakes up late. So kings wake up late. So, but no one ever heard of people waking up after 3 hours in the day. Doesn't exist. Doesn't the Chazal never heard of such a thing. Never heard of such a thing.
Well, people work at night.
That you say it after.
It could be koyda b'toyda, but you're doing the mitzvah. No, the mitzvah is movis lo yuchaliskin. The Gemara says it. So you can't. It's koyda b'toyda, but it's not a movis lo. B'toyda, it is. Toyda, it is. Why? Because Krishma has to bring the Eibishter into Yom, into Laila, into 7 heavens, into the earth, the 4 corners. You missed it. You missed the train. But if it's Torah is beyond time and space. That's one thing. That's mitzad the world. Also mitzad the person. Mitzad the person. We say that the Eibishter has to be made a king in the world. I have to declare the Eibishter's kingdom in the world. So mitzad Torah, world. What the world? What kind of world are you talking about? What world? What kind of perspective? All these people, Manhattan, these buildings, all nothing. Doesn't exist. Wall Street, Main Street, it's all garnished. It's garbage. Okay, it's garbage. So what's it talk about? But that's the way Torah looks at it. The way Mitzvah looks at it. There is a world, right? And I have to now declare the Eibishter the Melech of the world. So who am I? I'm a human being. Some days I'm in a good mood, some days in another mood. Sometimes I'm in a mood, and sometimes I'm not in a mood. Sometimes I'm Yom, sometimes I'm Laila. Sometimes I'm happy, it's good, things are good. Sometimes I'm in the pits, like Laila. So some days it's shining, and some days they're not. So if a person's not a machine, is not a robot, you're not going to get the results every day the same thing. You're not going to get the same results every single day. So therefore, it's different. It's Yom and Laila is a different thing. And also mitzvah, the godly light that comes into the world. There's a difference between mitzvah and Torah. So that's the difference between Krishma and Torah. However, they're in the same pasuk. Why are they in the same pasuk? Because what gives us the power that through the Krishma that we affect the world, that is through the Torah. The Torah, which is so powerful, that is not in the world, the world doesn't exist to the Torah, gives us the power that through Krishma we change the world. So true, Krishma and Torah are two very different, but they come in the same pasuk. Through the Torah, we have the koyach to change the world through Krishma. This sicha the Rebbe spoke about when he made a siyum on the Shas. And tonight, this was on a Yutas Kislev. Tonight, we're Mitzvah Hashem going to have a siyum of Seder Zroim. The Zikin, so one of the Masechtas in Shas, and this was a Siyum HaShas that the Rebbe made. So what's the first words of the Shas? Me'emes HaKoyda Mishma. It's about Shema. What's the last few words in Shas? Tana Devei Elio, Kol Hashena, Halochas B'chol Yom. The opening of the Shas is about Shema. The end of Shas is about Torah. And which Torah? The Halochas of Torah. Not the halacha, there could be 2 opinions. Halacha, there can't be 2 opinions. It has to be one way is the halacha. So these are the 2 things: the Shema and the Torah. And always the beginning and the end of the Shas are connected. What gives us the power that the Shema should declare the Eibishter's kingdom in the world? Through learning Torah. Torah gives us the koyach that Shema should affect the world. So here was a beautiful thing that Rebbe spoke about what's the connection of the end of the Shas. The end of the Shas talks about, right before the Gemara says, Kol Hashem halachas b'uftacha lo yishul ben olam haba. A person who learns halachas every day is going to have a share in the world to come. The Gemara talks about the laws of a ziva and a nida. Well, how is a ziva? What's the laws of a ziva and a nida? So, in general, a woman's cycle the women's are good customers of 7-Eleven. That's a woman's body works with 7-Eleven. That's the way it works according to Torah. 11 days is ziva, 7 days is nida. Ziva, nida, 7-Eleven, 7-Eleven, 7-Eleven. From when she's a baby, from the first of the year she has. Now, we keep everything, every dam. That the women today, that we keep, that even they see one drop of blood, it doesn't matter when they see it, they make it as if it's a zova, and it's a zova gedoyla, and they always count shiva and akim. That's what we do.
From the moment of see the blood.
Yeah, they count shiva and akim. However, the original thing was that it depends. If you saw blood in the 7 days, there's no such thing as counting 7 clean days. There's no such thing as counting 7 clean days. You don't have to count 7 clean days. You count it from when they started seeing the blood. But there was no 7 clean days. No such thing as 7 clean days. And but when was this? If a woman saw in the 11 days, and she saw 3 days in a row, or 3 years, so then we said, oh, now she turned into a zova gedoyla, and she has to count shiva and akim, she has to also have a korban, so on, or whatever, or if she's not a zova gedoyla, zova ketana, whatever. But
what was
the woman,
what is
a discharge of blood.
Just blood?
Right. Today we don't understand. We know a woman has a cycle, she's a period again. Those days, they knew to differentiate between a normal cycle. First of all, women apparently those days had very regular cycles. Even in the time of the Shas. It was an unusual thing that a woman doesn't have a set cycle. Every woman had a set cycle, which is not, today it's not that way. Fakir, most women don't. And it happens, some women do have, and sometimes they go into a schedule, they go out, they go in and out, but according to the Torah law, there was a clear understanding that there's 2 times. There's a time which is called eis nidus. That's the time for a woman to have, the body should discharge blood. You don't have to, if she sees blood, that's normal, so you don't have to have 7 clean days. If she sees it in the 11 days, we say it's abnormal. It shouldn't be. So therefore, that's because the blood came in that time, she has to count shiva and akim, 7 clean days. Because it's very confusing to the 7 and the 11, so the Bnei Yisrael machmer, that even time kachardul, that we count 7 akim. Okay, so the Gemara asks, in the days of Zidva, should it be only if she sees blood by day, not by night? And the Gemara brings it out from the pasuk, can make no difference. If it's on the 11 days, day or night is the same thing. It's a strange thing. Why would you think in the 11 days of Zivus it should be a difference between day and night? The Gemara says, no, it's not that way. Day and night makes no difference. It's just you count 7-11, 7-11, 7-11, 7-11, that's it. There's no difference day and night. And then the Gemara says, that Tamid Chachamim, Mar Mishalom Ha'olam, Kol Hashem Halachas, V'chol Yom, Muftach Lo Yishem Ben Olam Haba. Every person should learn halachas every day, and he'll be Ben Olam Haba. So Tosfos says, what's the connection? Tosfos says, because just like the Nevi'im Rishonim, whenever they finished the prophecy, they finished off with Divrei Shevach v'Tanchumin, Nachemu. It's finished off with words that are comforting, sweet. So the Gemara, which you finish off with a story about the Zivus, that's not a very savory thing to finish off a Gemara. Yeah, you finish Shas. To make a Shas, Madison Square Gardens. To get up, the Darshan is going to get up and talk. The Nida, the Ziva, the Nida, the 7-11, 7-11. It's not a time to talk about 7-11. Talk about the end of Shas, something sweet, something. That's it. But the Mashal says, yeah, you're right, but still there should be a connection. How shouldn't there be some connection? The question is, what's the connection between the whole discussion of it, the ziva nida, and kol hashen alochas b'chol yom. So here the Rebbe says, based on what we just said, we'll understand. What does it mean a woman's a nida? In general, what does it mean? The Gemara says native that nidus comes from the chet eitz hadas. Okay, so I don't understand. We have to understand what that means. I mean, what if Chava didn't sin? No woman would ever have a period. We wouldn't be sitting at this table right now if that was the case. So,
Part of death.
okay, so I mean, maybe it would have been a little different. Maybe it wouldn't have been so painful. Maybe it would have been, however it would have been. But the way a woman's body and the cycle, the way the blood is discharged, b'zman hazeh, is all a result of the sin of Chava. The Chava made when she bit into the eitz hadas, so it brought in zuama into her body, and therefore the Jewish body, which is holy, cannot hold in that impurity. So it flushes it out. It flushes it out. It can't hold it in. Oh, but once it flushes it out, so it's taket, but it was there. So therefore, a person has to go into mikveh to have absolute purity, which Chassidus says that tibul is bittul, like the Rambam says, as mei adas haTorah. A person has to have a sort of an absolute cleansing. Okay, spiritual cleansing.
Not you also. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of things happen to goyim that are similar to Jews, but if it didn't happen that way, there would be no bechira chavshis. We say that the Jewish people love their children, and that's like the Eibishter loves his children, the Yidden. So if it was the case that every goy hated his kids, kick him out of the house immediately as soon as they can, and every Jew was so sweet and warm to all their kids, the every bezdin would have lines of thousands of people standing trying to be Megayah. There would be no bechira chavshis. There would be no freedom of choice. So the Eibishter made that the teva is that also goyim like their children. You have, unfortunately, goyim that are crazy and abnormal. They don't like their children. They don't take care of their children. They throw them out on their streets. Okay.
They send them a suicide bomb.
But that too. No, that's the ones that like their children.
That's the ones that love them, yeah, to go to paradise.
Exactly. But there has to be that there should be bechira chavshis. But the Gemara Netivin says that the real thing is because of chet eitz hadas of Chava. So the body has to, the Jewish body rejects it. So but what's the difference of nidus and zivus? So the chinuch explains that zivus is a chelas. It's unhealthy. Why is it that the Torah said that a nida doesn't count 7 pure days? I mean, a nida doesn't count 7, but a ziva has to count. Zova has to count 7 pure days. Why? Because a zova is an unhealthy thing. It's below eis nidosa. That's a discharge that shouldn't be coming now. It's not. It's abnormal. It's abnormal. It shouldn't be coming. In other words, like this. What does this mean in avodas Hashem? We say that there is such a thing that there's an Adam Baini, an average person, the time of davening, the person feels close to Hashem. But we know when the person is later going to go out in the big world, the world is going to have an influence on the person, and the inspiration and the clarity and the moral clarity and the beauty and the seeing Hashem is going to get worn away until the person has to drag himself back into shul. Okay, that's the normal thing. That's the way it goes. It's a normal cycle. But there is sometimes when the evil is so strong that it's more than just a regular cycle. It's below eis nidasa. This unholy blood is more than regular. So the cleansing here has to be a stronger cleansing. Just like the Rambam says. The Rambam says that a person has an unhealthy habit. There is a certain type of food that's very unhealthy for them. They're eating it all the time. They're dying. So they go to the doctor. What does the doctor tell them? Don't eat this altogether. So well, everyone eats a little bit of it. Yeah, everyone eats a little bit. You eat 0 of that. Oh yeah? I know, hot dogs is not for one person. Hot dogs for everybody. In other words, there isn't ever a doctor that thinks that maybe some people should eat hot dogs. It's really healthy for them.
Chava Imenu, all the women have to hate her. Because of her, they have all this circle.
Yeah.
But what Hashem said, "Be'isavon tildi banim." Your pregnancy be very, very hard. So you're going together with the son.
Okay. So now they should hate her double.
Yeah.
Because now they have a painful cycle. Plus, now they have pain when they have the baby. So the emissaries.
The whole thing of the nida is because of the fact that the egg was not fertilized, so the fact it dies and comes out.
She's saying that's the pshat.
If there was no Eitz Hadat, there could have been fertilization without eggs dying and coming out. Because that's what causes the blood. Like biologically, that's what causes the blood. When the dying egg comes down, it scrapes against the uterus and causes blood to come out. It could have happened. That could have happened if there was no Eitz Hadat.
But it would have been, the world would have been populated much quicker.
Either that or some other good things opposed to that.
Sure.
Okay. I hear. Okay. Thank you for the explanation. And this also explains why there are poskim that hold. There's a whole discussion of tefillah b'zman and mitzvah. Some hold that tefillah b'zman ain't a mitzvah. Okay, chloikus. But there are poskim that hold that either way, a woman should never stay tuma. A woman should go to the mikveh. Unfortunately, you have today, Chwan al-Islam, such a concept. Woman married, she's not in the mood of going to the mikveh, right? Terrible thing. Well, obviously, there's a symptom of a very big problem in that marriage when these things are happening. Chwan al-Islam, but that's another issue. But just the fact that a woman doesn't go to the mikveh, many poskim hold, is a very terrible thing. Even if tefillah b'zman alav mitzvah, a woman shouldn't be a tameya. Why? So what do you care? I feel like ain't ba'il over here. Her husband's not. She's not like trying to inflict pain on her husband. Husband's the other end of the world. So what are you trying? Just want to be bothered. It's a headache, To go to
don't
mikveh.
have to eat kosher.
Yeah, after it caught you, no, listen, what's the big deal? Just in the house, just to go and bathe and blah, blah, blah. Go to mikveh, it's a big job. So the answer is that as the Rebbe, because simple, if you understand the Gemara in Eruvin, that this is from the Chet Eitzadas, and therefore it's a negative, and therefore a woman should not stay at Tameya. Even Ein Bala Bir, she's not trying to torment her husband, Chas v'Sholom. She's not trying to, get even with him on the chvesos and every dispute they have. He's not here. He's not here. But it doesn't matter because you're a Jewish body, and a Jewish body has to be cleansed from Chet Eitzadas. Okay. So to summarize, we have the difference of Nida and Ziva. Nida is a regular blood that has to be cleansed, but then there is Zivas, which is much stronger, and therefore the cleansing is just like the Rambam says, when someone's has a bad tendency, you have to go to the other Ktsei Legamri in Hilchos Days. So the doctor's going to tell him, okay, so you should go totally. A person gets always angry. He's angry. So the Reif and the Foshers tell him, okay, listen, doesn't matter. They can insult you, they can spit you in the face. You don't say a word. The whole person, I have to stand up for my rights. He said, no. We're sending you to Beis Menachem. They're going to take you for bringing. They'll give you a workout. You're not going to say a word. They're going to put you sitting over there with the guys drinking l'chaim on the other table. So they're going to talk and you're going to be quiet. And then you're going to be healed. That's what the Rambam says. Therefore it has to be Shiva Nakim. So the Gemara asks a question. This idea of Ziva by a Jew. Maybe we should say that if it's B'yomom, it's by day, Shem Shemogan Hashem Elokim, that the godliness in the world is revealed. It's Bayoim, and still the Jew has the problem of Ziva. He's to blame. What's going on with you? How come you're a Zava in the middle of the day? But if it's balayla, spiritually, the world is in a darkness. So how could you expect him not to be a zava? How could you say he's a zava? Okay, so he's very drawn into the fire of the world, into the blood of the world, into the koch of the world of Elam Hazeh, because it's night, because the world is in darkness. So the Gemara says it's not true. It's not true. Because a Yid learns Torah, he has the ability, even if the world is in absolute darkness, not to be a zava. Nidus, everyone has it. It's just a normal cycle. It's a normal cycle. You come to shul, you learn, you see Hashem, it's beautiful, it's clear to you. You go back to the world and you get influenced. You come. It's a cycle. Nidus, you can't complain. You can't fault someone for having the regular cycle of nidus. But we fault someone saying, Zivus, why are you a zava? So they have a man in the Gemara. The Gemara says maybe Zivus is only when the world is full of light, and this person is a zava. Why are you a zava? But if the world is in absolute darkness, so maybe the person has an alibi. That's why I'm a zava. So the answer is no. That you should be learning Torah, because learning Torah gives the power to do the avodas Hashem of Kriya Shema. Through learning Torah, we also have the power to learn Shema. That means that in the world, and the difference, the day and the night, and the different parts of the world, that we should be able to influence the world, and the world shouldn't influence us. And that's why the Gemara finishes with this. Even though what's the end of the Shas, that to say that even a Jew that seems to be in a level of zivus, that we expect better. So that's really a nachama, to say that we never give up on any Jew. We never say, this guy, you can't expect any better from him. We don't. We say, I don't care if this world, the whole world is pitch dark. The whole world is in absolute darkness. It's the middle of the summer, and they don't care about anything spiritual. They're materialistic, and they're behemoths, they're cows, they're dogs. The whole world is morally decrepit. But we expect better from you. Why? Because the Yid is shayna halachas b'chol yom. So that's the Divrei Tanchumim. That's the Nachemu at the end of Shas, because we see how much is expected of every single Yid. So the bottom line is that when the koyach of Torah gives us the power to do the job of Kriya Shema. Rebbe shall helfen that we should be able to do our avodas Hashem from Torah, avodas Hashem from Kriya Shema, and there should be no more darkness in the world. There should be a mama of Godel of Bias Mashiach Tzedkeinu. Amen. So now we're going to have a siyum of Seder Zroim. Zikir, I'm sorry.